so they too may have been disobedient, in order that by that they have mercy shown to them, as they also may now receive mercy. For God has consigned all to disobedience, that he may have mercy on all. Oh, the depths of the riches and wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable are his judgment, and how inscrutable are his ways. For who has known the mind of the Lord? Who has been his counselor? Or who has given a gift to him, that he might be repaid? For him and through him and to him all things, to him be the glory forever. Amen. And so it's interesting as we think and we look at this and we think like the mystery of Israel's salvation, he's talking about disobedience. And we often look at the country and we don't realize that we were built upon the foundations of Scripture. But here's what happens. And we always want to blame somebody else, but it wasn't everybody else that took a left at Albuquerque. It was us. It was us. And I know that's not flowery. That's not like, oh, that's not a feel good. But it really looks at our divergent from the path of God. And we look at this, and you just look at that, and he's talking about, they've been disobedient because you've been disobedient, and there's this mercy that God has given mercy to everybody. But where are we in this giving mercy to anybody else? Because you think back to that, America to be perfect if, and then you fill in the blank, where is your mercy to that? Where is our mercy to that? Because here's the thing, and there was a song that I've listened to, and it talks about America, has this utopia. And they talk about, this utopia being, tainted and stained. And I think and at first I was like, yeah, but then I got to thinking, but it's like, wait, we've never gotten it right. We have never gotten it right. But the thing is somehow we have skewed our thinking into thinking that we have figured it out and that everything would be great if this. And I think way back to when the country was founded, and yes, it was founded on biblical principles, but even then we still didn't have it right. But through the years, instead of looking at us going, hey, what can we do? What have we done? How have we been disobedient? How have we gotten off the path? We've stopped doing that, and we've looked to push blame elsewhere. We've looked to push blame elsewhere, and there's a George Washington's prayer, which is often talked about, and doing research on it. George Washington really didn't write it. David Camp wrote it. He was one of the camp aides at Washington State, and it says this, and this is the letter he was sending to the generals. Now I make it my earnest prayer that God would have you, in the state over which you preside, in his holy protection, that he would incline the hearts of the citizens to cultivate a spirit of subordination and obedience to the government, to entertain brotherly affection and love for one another, for their fellow citizens, and the United States at large, and particularly for their brethren who have served in the field. And finally, he would most graciously be pleased and dispose of us all to do justice, to love mercy, and to demean ourselves with the charity, humanity, and pacific temper of mind, which were the characteristics of the divine author of those who blessed our religion. And without a humble imitation of those examples in these things, we can never hope to be a happy nation. Without a humble imitation of those examples in these things, we can never hope to be a happy nation. I have the honor to be, with much esteem and respect, sir, your excellency's most obedient and humble servant, George Washington. Without humble imitation of those examples. Now, if we had a mirror, and I didn't think about this till last night, and I was laying in bed. I was like, how awesome would it be if we had like a giant mirror that just like reflected everybody? That'd be awesome. Because here's the thing is, are we imitators of Christ? See, that's the thing that George Washington or David Camp knew, that, hey, in order for us to be a nation, in order for us to be a happy nation, a strong nation, it comes from the Christians being example to others.